Hello, dear friends. Today, we will together explore the most thrilling, surprising, and emotional moments in this episode. Are you ready to immerse yourselves in the story? Let's not keep anyone waiting any longer. I'm starting right now. Join me as we follow and experience these special moments. After days of exhaustion from chopping wood to build the house, combined with the prolonged rainy and flood seasons that interrupted the work, today the sky finally began to brighten. Soft golden sunlight filtered through the leaves, warming every little corner of the land where Tieu Ca was gradually building a future for herself and her children. She could feel her body recovering after the tiring days. The aching pains gradually eased, replaced by a new surge of energy. That small joy seemed to fuel her determination to return to the unfinished work. But when Tieu Ca shared her plan to continue building the house, a deep worry flickered in Hmong's eyes. He sighed gently, then spoke seriously to her. Don't try to do everything on your own anymore. Building a house isn't simple, and your health is still weak. I don't want to see you pushing yourself too hard. Let me help you hire workers to do it. Just rest, take care of your health, and look after the children. Tieu Ca was silent, feeling a little confused inside. She was used to being independent, carrying everything on her own shoulders, so at first she found it hard to accept help. But seeing the sincere and caring look in Hmong's eyes, her heart softened. After a moment of hesitation, she gently replied, "Yes, I think you're right. If so, please help me hire workers. Thank you so much." Hmong smiled happily, without hesitation, took out his phone, and quickly called the builders he knew. He carefully discussed all the details with them, giving instructions about the work and the schedule to ensure everything would be well prepared. In less than an hour, the workers were on their way to the land where Tieu Ca was building her home. Hmong didn't forget to gently help her onto the motorbike. On the way, he held her hand, his tender eyes conveying support and comfort. A gentle breeze blew through her hair, warm sunlight spread throughout the space. Laughter and joyful voices echoed amid the peaceful scenery, like a confirmation of a new beginning, a hopeful fresh start after a long period of hardship. Tieu Ca te trai tim hin hang hom baugyo het. Beside her was not only the house gradually taking shape, but also Hmong the man who quietly stood by her side, always ready to share every burden. One peaceful afternoon, as Tieu Ca and Hmong leisurely rode on the motorbike, cheerful laughter softly resonated in the cool countryside air. Suddenly, a familiar figure appeared at the narrow path. It was Tieu Ca's ex-husband, a man who had once been an important part of her life, but was now an unchangeable part of the past. His gaze froze when he saw the scene. Tieu Ca, his ex-wife, sitting next to another man, a man who was not only gentle and caring, but also brought her joy, warmth, and new hope. Although there were no longer any binding ties between them, complex, mixed emotions suddenly surged fiercely in his heart. Half regret, half uncontrollable, burning jealousy. That jealousy was like a smoldering fire, increasingly flaring up fiercely as he saw Tieu Ca's radiant smile beside Hmong, their eyes shining with trust and peace. Things he had once failed to give her. He felt left behind, replaced, and it was as if his heart was being tightly squeezed. Without a word, he silently followed them from afar, his footsteps quietly trailing like a shadow in the night. The mix of pain and anger made his head spin, leaving no clarity in his mind. He could not accept that Tieu Ca was ready to open her heart and welcome another man, a kind, compassionate man who had given her a brighter future. When the two arrived at the vacant land where Tieu Ca was preparing to build her new house, he stood at a distance watching coldly. The hard-working builders were at work, construction materials laid out one by one, every brick and wooden beam meticulously prepared. All of it was arranged by Hmong, who had taken the initiative to hire them to help Tieu Ca, something he had wanted to do many times before, but was rejected by her repeatedly. This truth was like a sharp knife cutting deep into his heart. He felt betrayed not only by Tieu Ca, but also by himself, the man who had promised many times to change, to no longer hurt her and her children, but in the end, everything became meaningless. Within him, those old promises were suddenly swept away by memories, replaced by anger, hatred, and bitterness. He was no longer the gentle man he once was, but had turned into a madman, full of rage, determined to destroy everything Tieu Ca was gradually building. His eyes grew cold and threatening. Every laugh, every tender glance exchanged between Tieu Ca and Hmong felt like a dagger stabbing straight into his heart, making it impossible for him to stay calm. He silently vowed that no matter the cost, he would not let this new happiness last. As night fell, darkness covered the vacant land, witnessing the invisible battle between past and present, between anger and hope, between hatred and love. And in that darkness, a dark plan began to form in the mind of the man who had once been her husband, determined to sabotage and shatter the peaceful dream Tieu Ca had built with all her heart. After leaving the land, Tieu Ca's ex-husband could no longer hide the fury and turmoil within his soul. The darkness in his heart thickened, weighing heavily on every thought. It was more than jealousy. It was the ultimate pain of seeing the woman who once belonged to him, the woman he had abandoned, now finding happiness with another man. That man was not him, but Hmong, kind, compassionate, and sincere, the man who was steadily rebuilding a home for Tieu Ca and her children. Returning home, he could not keep calm. Sitting at the table drinking tea with his mother, his eyes reflected irritation, bitterness, and calculation. His mother, experienced and understanding of everything, could not hide her worried and slightly agitated expression at her son's confessions. They exchanged serious silence, their few words laden with conspiracies and dark plans. They both decided to devise a secret plan to sabotage the new house, a symbol of the happiness and freedom that Tieu Ca was striving to build. The plan was not merely about physical destruction, but aimed deeper at Tieu Ca's spirit, intending to sow insecurity, doubt, and fear, shaking her faith and inherent resilience. In his mind, the crazy and hateful thoughts grew stronger. He could not bring himself to bless Tieu. Kay could not accept that she was loved, cared for, and happy with another man, someone he considered an outsider. That jealousy made him lose control, becoming blind and determined to destroy everything. He made a detailed plan, secretly hiring unknown individuals to sabotage the construction site, deliberately causing chaos and delaying the building progress. Malicious rumors were spread to tarnish Tieu Ca's reputation in the village, causing the community to shun and doubt her. He wanted to turn her dream into an unending nightmare. But will those cruel schemes succeed? Can Tieu Ca and Hmong, with their love, determination, and unity, overcome this challenge? Will the home they are building be strong enough to withstand the storms of the past? Night fell. Darkness covered the small village, as if foretelling a coming storm. And in the mind of that man, the dark plan was gradually unfolding a battle, not only for material things, but also for love, trust, and the survival of an entire new family. After plotting in the shadows, the ex-husband began acting secretly and ruthlessly to destroy Tieu Ca's new home. He did not do the work himself, but hired local acquaintances, unstable characters, ready to follow orders without question. At night, when everyone was resting, the saboteurs quietly sneaked into the construction site. They silently dismantled building materials, broke down newly erected wooden pillars, even damaged concrete that hadn't yet hardened. Some deliberately set fires near the material storage area, producing the smell of smoke and thick black smoke, causing the workers to panic and halt their work. It didn't stop there. They also spread malicious rumors about Tieu Ca, saying she didn't deserve the happiness she had, causing many villagers to begin doubting and shunning her. The builders were also threatened, making them feel unsafe, and many quit midway. The next day, when Tieu Ca and Hmong arrived at the site, they saw a scene of devastation. Wooden pillars toppled, piles of bricks and stones scattered everywhere, and the unfinished construction lying in disarray as if it had just endured a fierce storm. Tieu Ca was heartbroken but did not give up. She looked at Hmong with determined eyes. Hmong immediately encouraged her and hired additional guards and experienced builders, preparing plans to protect the land. He also contacted local authorities to report the acts of sabotage and warned the community to avoid spreading false rumors. Despite facing many difficulties and challenges, Tieu Ca and Hmong did not give up. Their love and willpower grew stronger, creating the strength to help them overcome sleepless nights and hard-working days to rebuild the house from the ruins. However, on the other side, the ex-husband refused to stop. He grew increasingly frustrated and impatient, seeing Tieu Ca's resilience, and began devising more sophisticated and cunning plans to completely bring her down.
Ngày hôm sau, khi Tieu Ca vào vùng đến hiện trường, họ nhìn thấy cảnh tượng hoang tàn, những cây gỗ đổ rạp, đống gạch đá vương vãi khắp nơi. Công trình mới dở dang ngổn ngang như vừa trải qua một trận cuồng phong. Tieu Ca đau lòng nhưng không gục ngã. Cô nhìn Hmong với ánh mắt cương quyết. Hmong lập tức động viên cô, đồng thời thuê thêm bảo vệ và thợ xây có kinh nghiệm chuẩn bị phương án bảo vệ khu đất. Anh cũng liên hệ với chính quyền địa phương để thông báo những người có hành vi phá hoại, đồng thời cảnh báo cộng đồng để tránh các đồn thổi không đúng sự thật. Mặc dù phải đối mặt với nhiều khó khăn và thử thách, Tieu Ca và Hmong không bỏ cuộc. Tình yêu và ý chí của họ càng ngày càng mạnh mẽ hơn, tạo nên sức mạnh giúp họ vượt qua những đêm dài mất ngủ, những ngày lao động vất vả để dựng lại ngôi nhà từ đống hoang tàn. Tuy nhiên, phía bên kia, người chồng cũ của Tieu Ca cũng không dừng lại. Anh ta càng bực tức và nóng nảy khi thấy sự kiên cường của Tieu Ca và bắt đầu lên kế hoạch tinh vi với những bước đi thâm hiểm nhằm khiến cô gục ngã hoàn toàn.